Hey everyone, it's Mel. Welcome back. Today I am planting 3 Endless Summer Hydrangeas on my north facing side of the garden, and that's the side that gets a bit more shade. I'm going to use my handy dandy Biotone starter fertilizer to get her going. And this is the type of hydrangea where you can change its soil or change the bloom colors based on the soil. So today we're going to use a bit of soil acidifier, because the more acidic your soil is, the bluer or purple your hydrangea blooms will be. So not to confuse it with an arborescence hydrangea, which is like Incredible and all those other big round white ones, and not to confuse it with a panicle. You cannot change those color blooms, but you can change hydrangea mycophalia, which is what this is, or a mophead, also known as a mophead hydrangea. So we're going to go ahead and get her in the ground. Now we're going to go just a wee bit wider than the pot, but just as deep as the pot. So I like to go maybe about an additional 2 to 3 inches around. That will give the weeds really enough space to sort of bulk up as they are growing. But you don't want to go too deep, because you don't want your plant to become waterlogged and potentially have root rot. So here I am just digging up the perfect size for this plant, and what I'm going to do is I need to, as you can see, I did some weeding, as you can see in the back, but in the front I thought I should make the bed a bit bigger. So I'm going to just do a little bit weeding as I go, but we're going to speed this up a bit because this is not the most fun part of planting my beautiful flowers, but it's a necessity, because I want to keep as much as the native soil as I can, and not keep it because it's so great, because it honestly isn't. It doesn't have any nutrients in there. So you'll see later that we're going to add some really good stuff in there for the soil. We're going to use land and sea compost. But for now, I just want to try to get the top layer of the weeds off the soil and sort of keep as much as the native soil as I can. And just to give you a little stats on this plant, Endless Summer mycophalia plant will grow anywhere between 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, and it's hardy from zones 4 to 9. I'm in zone 7B in New York, so it's perfect for me. I am going to plant a row of 3, and that way, once they get established and reach their full height, it will cover a lot of ground area, a lot of space for me in this back area. So I can't wait for that to happen. And hydrangeas grow really quickly. Like in another 1 to 2 years, it could potentially reach the 3 foot to 5 foot mark here. And this type of hydrangea can bloom on old wood and new growth, and it's reblooming. So I don't have to worry too much when we get to winter time and worry about the blooms, the buds for the next year freezing off, because they also can bloom on new growth. Okay, so here we have our land and sea compost. I usually will use this for the veggie garden when I plant my seeds or my starter plants for the veggies. But this back area has not had any great soil attention in quite some time. So you can see, I don't know if you can really see it, but it's pretty dry and ashy looking, and it just needs some help. And so I want to ensure that the Endless Summer Hydrangeas have a really good bed, a really good start to their growth. They've actually been in this pot since last year, and I'm just getting around to them now. We're in July. They were struggling a little bit because we got so hot, and if I didn't water them every day, it looked really sad. So I said, okay, let me get them in the ground, get them in some good fertilized soil here, and they will really take off. So here we go. We're just there were some weeds growing on top of the plant here, so I'm just taking off those weeds that was growing on top of the plant, and I'm measuring it also just to make sure that it's enough space going around, and that it's not too deep in the hole, and also not too high. So again, we want to put our biotone starter fertilizer down, because this will give the this will give the roots of the hydrangea the nutrients that it needs for strong root growth, not necessarily the plant growth, but for root growth. So if you have really good roots, you know that you're going to have a really good, healthy, strong plant.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass, I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen in all the colors. Summer love, memories washed in every shade of green in all the colors. Summer love, remember the lazy river day canoe, bathing in the turquoise blue, losing track of time with you. Another peach pie sunset view, sleeping in the afternoon, no place to be and nothing to prove. That's sure something I could use. A cure for the air conditioned blues. Could use some too. A little bit of summer love.
Okay, we got our three endless summer hydrangeas in the ground. The one in the middle was, or is a cutting that I got from my big box store, and I thought, should I be paying for this cutting? Because I could totally make my own. But I was a little late in getting cuttings done this year, so I just said, yeah, let me go ahead and get it because I wanted three in this area to take up as much space as possible. So we got these three in the ground. Next, we are going to put the soil acidifier on and mulch, water, mulch, and then we're done. There are measurements on the back of the packet to tell you how much to put around your plant, your shrub. I don't usually measure. I just put roughly 2 handfuls around the base of the shrub. And that's like really my measurement. I do that for everything, for fertilizer, and when I'm trying to amend my soil, I just use my hands. It's easier. I just do it that way. Okay, now we want to make sure that we give our girls a good drink because they have been sitting in those pots, in their pots for a while during a heat wave. And although I watered almost every day, the bottom of the pot, the bottom of the shrub is still really dry. Also, we're putting them in really dry soil in the ground. So you want to make sure you give them a good drink. It may seem like a lot of water, but it's not because the ground dries up so quickly. You want to make sure you thoroughly water them, and I give them a nice, great soak. Especially if you don't have rain forecasts coming up soon, and until they get really well established, you don't want them to go dry because hydrangeas really love water, not standing in water necessarily, but they love a good drink. Okay, guys, we are all done. Let me know what you think. I think this area looks so good from what it looked like before. I think I have a picture I can put up. But anyway, yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait for them to take off and get to their full height. They're going to look so good. I'm trying to conquer this back area and fight all the weeds. I have a bit more to go, as you can see down there, but that's okay. We'll take one bit, one step at a time. I'm so happy with this. This looks so good. Fresh mulch makes everything look better. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, everyone, take care.